Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down how companies take this incredibly complex AI. We're talking about technology that can feel like it's straight out of science fiction and turn it into something that you and I actually want to use. It all comes down to their go-to-market strategy.
Okay, let's just get right into it. This right here is the core problem for any company building AI for regular people. You can have the most powerful model in the universe with literally trillions of parameters. But if you can't get one single person to understand why it matters to them, well, it's just a really expensive science project. A really good way to think about this is like a retail store. The product managers, they're the ones who build the product and put it on the shelf. They make sure it works. But it's the job of product marketing with a solid go-to-market strategy to convince customers to actually walk down the aisle, pick it up, and take it home. So let's get into exactly how they pull this off.
All right, first things first, the raw technology itself, that's not what sells. The very first step in any great AI strategy is translating what the AI does on a technical level into what it does for you on a human level. It's all about moving from features to feelings. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because there were always these hidden trade-offs. An AI that can do a million different things sounds amazing, right? But that generality you see on the left often comes with a really high cost to run it. Or a huge, powerful model might sound great, but it can be super slow to give you an answer. These are the kinds of technical realities a GTM team has to deal with and simplify for the rest of us.
And this is a perfect example of that translation in action. Nobody buys 95% accuracy, right? What does that even mean in your daily life? But they will absolutely buy the outcome, that feeling of getting your work done in half the time. That's something you can feel, something you can experience.
And it all comes down to this. At the end of the day, we're all just looking for stuff that solves some pretty basic human needs. We want things to be convenient, to make us more efficient. We want them to be reliable, easy to use. And hey, good design doesn't hurt either. The tech specs, they only matter if they help deliver on these things.
Okay, so you've translated the tech into a clear benefit. Now what? How do you actually get people to believe you? In the world of AI, which can sometimes feel a little bit like magic, credibility is, well, it's absolutely everything. You see it all the time, right? Companies claiming they're the leading, the only, the fastest. It's just baked into the language of marketing. But in a world full of savvy consumers and, let's be honest, pretty strict lawyers, how do you make those claims without getting yourself into a ton of trouble?
So there's this great story from marketing expert Mindy Rignell. She was on a flight one day, looks at the little screen in front of her, and it advertises that the airline has 199 movies available. And of course, her marketing brain just lit up. She immediately thought, what a marketing tragedy. If they just had two more movies, just two, they could legally and truthfully say they had over 200 movies. It just sounds so much bigger, so much better. It's the perfect little example of that tightrope walk between a powerful marketing message and something you can actually prove.
Now, for the big claims, yeah, it's a whole process, a really serious one. First, teams have to nail down what they even mean by leading. Does that mean most customers, most money? Then they have to research every single competitor to see if their claim holds up. And finally, they document everything, saving web pages, links, you name it, so they have the receipts if their legal team ever needs them.
All right, so you've translated the tech, you've built a credible story, it's launch day. But here's the thing, the work is nowhere near done. In fact, for the really smart GTM teams, this is where the fun begins. It's not about the launch, it's all about the life cycle.
And this is a huge mental shift for a lot of people. A launch isn't the finish line. It's not the time to pop the champagne and move on. Think of it more like the starting gun for building a long, evolving relationship with your users. Take the company Data Snipper, for instance. At first, they were charging people for every little thing the AI did, and it was creating a lot of hesitation. So after they launched, they changed it up and made access free. And guess what happened? They saw a massive 60% jump in people actually using it. That's a lesson they only learned by watching and listening after the product was out there. Listening after you launch is just so critical. And I love how one product marketer put it, you have to treat all user feedback like it's a gift. But, and this is the important part, you also get a gift receipt. It means you listen to it all, you value it, but then you get to strategically decide what feedback fits your vision and what you might have to politely return.
This is a classic case. A company changed one single color in its user interface. You'd think, who cares, right? Just a tiny cosmetic tweak? Well, users cared. A lot.
They felt it made the product harder to use, less accessible. The backlash was instant. The company had to hit pause, listen to all that feedback, and make changes. That, right there, is managing the life cycle in the real world.
So let's pull all this together. We've got translating the tech, we've got telling a credible story, and we've got managing the product's entire life cycle. What is it all for? Well, it all points to one big ultimate goal. And here it is, the big takeaway. For a technology this powerful, this personal, and frankly, sometimes this mysterious, the entire game really just boils down to one thing: earning and then keeping the trust of your users. But, trust can be a kind of fuzzy word. So what does it actually mean? Well, as you can see here, it's not just one thing. Look, transparency and reliability, those are the heavy hitters, right? That's more than half the whole picture. But being honest in your marketing and just making the product easy to use, those are crucial pieces of the puzzle too. So, as we're wrapping up, let me leave you with this to think about. When every AI model out there is getting smarter by the day, what's a company's real edge? It's probably not going to be the model with the most parameters or the longest list of features. It's going to be the trust that it has so carefully earned from its users. Think about it. As AI gets woven into pretty much everything we do, what's the one thing a company could do to make you, personally, trust them instantly? That's all for this explainer. Thanks for watching.